Hello, I'm Chloe Smith and I'm a student at Bryant and Stratton College. Now, we've all heard about the Declaration of Human Rights, but have we ever evaluated the adoption speech from Eleanor Roosevelt? Well, you're in luck today because we'll focus on her speech. Before we evaluate her speech, let's just have some background history on Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the First Lady of the United States of America and was the first chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights. According to Sarah Simons, most historical sources described her as shy and retiring, but she was actually a dedicated politician, humanitarian, and activist for the better part of her life. After President Roosevelt's death, President Truman appointed Eleanor to the U.S. delegate to the United Nations in Paris, France on December 8, 1948. The purpose of the speech was to define universal human liberties and ensure that the tragedies of World War II would never happen again. The extermination of almost 17 million people during the Holocaust horrified the entire world. For this not to happen again, the United Nations was formed, and Eleanor created a speech to devise a list of all human rights to foster international peace and prevent conflict. As Eleanor Roosevelt's Universal Declaration speech changed many pathways in our society, today we're going to focus and evaluate her speech. Now, Eleanor described her speech as her life's greatest work. The preparation took around 2 years by drafting and presenting her speech to the United Nations. While viewing her speech, you can definitely distinguish the hard work and dedication she assembled for human rights. She was very passionate in what she was speaking about and provided great examples. She also spoke naturally, and you can tell how many times she's practiced the speech. Her pauses were fluent, where the audience could comprehend the importance of what she's saying. Because Eleanor was so prepared, she effectively portrayed great organization. The speech made sense, and actually at 3 a.m. the next day, the United Nations unanimously accepted the document. The main messages were understandable, and the quotes are still beneficial to this day. When I was reading this speech, actually the most beneficial statement I thought was when she stated that human rights must be applied to all beings, understanding among the peoples of the world, and regardless of race or creed or color, and when it's applied, it's understanding among the peoples of the world. The organization with their statements also created a better understanding for the UN to accept her document, in which at 3 a.m. the next day they accepted it. In addition, her word voice was also appropriate with her information she was educating the audience on. For example, her speech had many historical references and even acknowledged a few recent speeches. In my opinion, when someone references other speeches, it's easier for the audience to have an impact where her point was effectively portrayed. It made a monumental impact on me because although I like visual representations, when someone references or uses examples, it creates a better understanding. Lastly, I'm a huge advocate on evaluating voices. For Eleanor, she spoke in front of a large audience. Even with the microphone and speaker, her voice had to be loud enough for everyone in the audience to hear. She delivered her speech with great volume and was passionate about every sentence she made. When someone delivers a speech that's more compassionate and you can tell that she is advocating expressing her knowledge, it's so much more easier for the audience to understand. Eleanor made great strengths in her speech. Honestly, the only thing I would really improve on would be interpreting maybe some visual aids. I know that during this time era, it was definitely hard to establish some visual representations, such as like PowerPoints, but maybe utilizing images would be beneficial to reinforce points. But overall, her speech was really good and definitely created an impact on me personally. Today, we've established Eleanor Roosevelt's adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Eleanor's preparation, voice, organization, and word choice created a monumental impact still to this day. According to the Amnesty International, this speech was the first time a global agreement was put on human beings, not power politics, at the heart of its agenda. Thank you so much for listening to my speech about Eleanor Roosevelt and her evaluative techniques used. I hope you gained more information. Have a nice day.